Howdy do you, this is John, and today we are talking about Zootopia 2, a new movie out in theaters right now. And in Zootopia 2 deals with Judy and Nick, a bunny and a fox, who are cops for Zootopia PD. And this case, they end up finding little pieces of snake skin, meaning the first snake in Zootopia in 100 years has shown up. And while investigating it, certain things turn out to not be what they seem. And now we have a movie. Okay, so getting into it, before I get into what I don't like about the movie, I'm going to talk about what I do like. And first and foremost, Judy and Nick are a really good pair. These two, Judy is very quick and very, intelligent bunny. And Nick, he's kind of cynical. He's very sarcastic, very snarky. But just like Judy, he's also very intelligent. And the two can solve a puzzle together. It's almost like they need each other in order to solve each of their cases. If it's just Nick or Judy, nothing will get done. And also, even though Disney's animated films, overall quality-wise, are nowhere near as good as they used to be, they're still very consistent about having some of the best animation that you can get in their movies. Zootopia 2 is no exception. The animation in Zootopia 2 is phenomenal. The character designs, the cinematography, this movie is just very top-notch with its animation and visuals. The humor was kind of a mixed bag. There were some good jokes, and there were some jokes that just made my eyes roll. Most of the good jokes, involve Nick's snarky banter, his snarky, sarcastic comments and stuff. But there's also a bunch of other jokes, including some movie references, out of all things, that just kind of an eye roll a little bit. When it comes to the new characters, one of them, Gary, is actually, Gary's actually kind of a nice addition. Gary is the snake, and, there's this thing involving Gary, involving snakes, that does, lend a little extra flavor into the origins of Zootopia. But there's also this beaver character that's just annoying. She was added just because they wanted an annoying character for children, thinking that, that's what children want anymore. When I was a kid, my favorite heroes were not the loud, obnoxious heroes. They were the ones going out and doing something when no one else would. Little kid me would have loved Judy and Nick. Little kid me, however, would not have loved that friggin' beaver. Another thing I didn't like is they, for some reason, decided to repeat a lot of the same character arcs from the first movie. Like Nick and Judy, even though Nick was no longer a criminal, was a cop, they for some reason repeated their character arc from the first movie, where they had to trust each other and stuff, even though they were already proven to be real good partners. What the heck? Judy is also an underdog. Again. Even though in the first movie, she proved herself. There's just a lot of stupid stuff like that in this film. Heck, it takes place like a week after the events of the first movie, supposedly, and yet somehow they had done a whole election and have a new mayor. I'm sorry, but elections don't They're not that quick. Trust me, I would know. My country's a republic. We do this every 2 years. The story of the movie, it's kind of a bit of a repeat of the first movie. However, they do things somewhat differently, but nowhere near as effective as it is in the first movie. With this movie, same thing, except the story is just not as engaging as it is in the first movie. The first movie, there's this whole political conspiracy going on. Judy was having issues trying to figure out who to trust, and so were you. You know, it was just simply a well-executed story. This one, not so much. Can't get into any details without getting into spoilers, so there you go. But throughout the entire movie, I was just in there asking myself, this is just the first movie done somewhat differently, but nowhere near as entertaining. So guys, at the end of the day, Zootopia 2, it's a movie. While Judy and Nick are still, a very entertaining couple to see, the animation's undeniably really strong, as all usual with Disney. And at least some of the new characters are a little bit interesting. At the end of the day, the movie's just not that great. It's nowhere near as good as the first Zootopia by a mile. Some of the characters in the movie are more annoying than they are funny. The story is just not as engaging as the first movie and repeats some of the stuff that occurs in the first movie. There's no real extra character growth with, more advanced character arcs. They just simply give them the same ones that they had in the first movie. And at the end of the day, honestly, I can't really recommend this movie too much, because I just was not entertained. It's not terrible, I should point that out, but it's not something I would invest my time in again. I'm going to give Zootopia 2 a 4. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And don't forget, I have a secondary channel where I do gaming content. Please go check it out. And as per usual, please remember, the Belitsky will return.